Hey guys, Clayton here, and today we are going to be reviewing the iRobot's Roomba. And sorry guys. And today how we are going to be doing that is I have 4 different substances. We have some sugar, mashed Dorritos, we have some mashed up cookie, and we have some dog food. We're going to see how well it does on some hardwood and when it has to get up on some carpet. So, I'm going to get the scene ready. First, we'll start with the Dorritos and we'll slowly move up. We'll do the hardwood first and then we will move on to the carpet. So, I'll set up the scene and then we will get started. And as you can tell, I have my handy dandy hookup. So, we're going to put it on the Roomba cam and see how well it does.
This is the emergency broadcast system. The CDC is advising that you stay in your homes and walk home.
We show up. We show up in the party.
Now let's take a look at our results. As you can see, there is actually quite a bit of Dorito dust all over the place from the Roomba. So one problem I noticed with the design, which I understand what they're trying to do, but this brush right here that spins, when it hits the Dorito dust, it just flung it everywhere, and in a spot clean, it's not going to get your job done. So maybe in like a normal cleaning mode, when you just hit clean on the center button, it'd run around and it'd clean everything, but it would take a while. But if you have just Dorritos, like I had here, in a big pile, and you just wanted to spot clean it, in the end, it's going to take multiple spot cleans, because this guy just shot the Dorritos everywhere. As you can see, the general area where it ran over did fine, but it shot the Dorritos everywhere, so I would say that the Dorito test was a failure, so let's move on to the next one.
Flyer than everybody. We show up in the party. Flyer than everybody.
We show up in the party. Flyer than everybody. We show up in the party. Flyer than everybody. We show up in the party. Flyer than everybody. We show up in the party.
We show up in the party. We show up in the party.
So let's take a look and see how the Roomba did. As you can see, it flung cookie dust absolutely everywhere, leaving it probably even worse than the Dorritos. There's cookie dust, crumbs, and as you can see, some of these bigger chunks it did not want to pick up. So I wonder if there's a height clearance or if there's just a maximum suck velocity that it'll pick up. Maybe those are too heavy. And as you can tell, these little crumbs aren't very heavy. Maybe they're too wet, because our robot does not pick up very wet, doesn't pick things up that are very wet. So let's clean this up and we'll move on to the next test. Hopefully the sugar doesn't go everywhere.
We show up in the party. We show up in the party. We show up in the party.
Alright, so these are the results of the sugar test. As we can see, it actually did not do as well as I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of sugar granules left. And the broom didn't really spin a lot of sugar granules out of the area. The robot didn't quite get to this part, but it did get to where it looks lighter. So it actually did worse than I thought it was going to do with the sugar test. So that really lowers my hopes for the dog food test, which is next. So we'll be going on to that next.
Flyer than everybody.
We show up in the party. Flyer than everybody.
We show up in the party. Flyer than everybody.
We show up in the party.
We show up in the party. show up in the party. We show up in the party.
Alright, so these are the results of the dog food. Clearly it didn't pick it all up, but it actually didn't run all of the dog food over, so I'm highly impressed actually. The only problem I would say it had with the dog food is when it came to running it over, as you can see, it got caught in the wheels of the Roomba, causing it to create all this nice dust residue that is falling out of this robot right now. So it picked up most of it, but I feel like since there was so much of it, it did not perform to the level I would like it. Did it pick up the dog food? Yes, but would I say it was passing? I would probably say no. So it failed all of our hardwood tests. So let's move on to something more like a rug. So we're gonna get that set up and I'll see you when we're ready. Alright, we are now back with our carpet test. So as you can see here, we have placed Dorritos into the carpet. Some are on the top and some have gone down into kind of more of the grooves of the carpet. So we will see how well the Roomba does. Maybe this Roomba is made more for carpet. I highly doubt it because now it's going to be twice as hard. The suction power is going to need to be twice as much. And just keep note, we have emptied this tray every time we run a test. So it's had a clean, empty tray, so there's nothing that should actually be causing any problems. So we're going to run the test. We're going to see how it does. We're not going to do the sugar test just because clearly white carpet, you're not going to be able to see it. That, and if it does really get stuck down in there, I don't want to have to do it a deep clean. So we'll run a test real quick on these Dorritos and see how it does. Alright, so our Roomba just finished cleaning up our surface, and as predicted, the Dorritos deep down in the carpet did not get cleaned, but the surface Dorritos did, which is, I guess, a plus. It's more like a dust picker-upper than it would be an actual vacuum. That's how I look at it, because right now, this is not a passing test for me. It needs to pick up more than 90%, and as you can see, there is stuff deep down in there. It just does not have the suction power to clean up all this stuff. So we'll jump into our next test, which will be the cookie, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get the same results. So we just ran the cookie test, and I am very not surprised. As you can see, there's still cookie crumbs down in there. Maybe very hard to tell, but there is a lot of cookie crumbs. From the camera, it may not be easy to tell. It actually looks like it got some more of the Dorritos up, but still not all of it. The cookie crumb test, I would say, I felt like it went a little bit better than the Dorritos. There might be a lot more down in the grooves, but the stuff was a lot thicker and bigger. So now we'll move on to the dog food test, and we'll see how it does. I have a bad feeling that it's going to do worse because now its clearance is a lot lower. Has a lot less clearance, so maybe it won't even pick them up. We'll see how it does. Alright, so the Roomba just finished its last and final test, and actually, as you can see, carpet, there's no dog food. It actually did clean all the dog food up, and I'm very surprised, very shocked, and it finally passed what I would say its very first test, because even from this far of an angle, you can still see a slight hint of orange and brown from the Doritos and cookie. So it passed its first test. Congrats, Roomba. You passed 1 of 7. Not too bad, I guess, if you want to spend anywhere between $300 to $800 on a piece of shit. So, the Roomba, I'm not exactly sure what model this is. I'll have to make sure I figure out what model it is. But if you're up to me, I would spend my dollars somewhere else in maybe a different vacuum, or just get off your ass and maybe use a real vacuum, because clearly we are not in the age to where machine-powered vacuums are strong enough to clean up what I would say just a very standard job. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more reviews, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you all next time.